Well, it may be the trophy he wants, but he does like the cash, does MVG. He makes a habit of hoovering up large piles of it, week in, week out. And if Michael van Gerwen did not pick up a dart between now and the World Championship at the end of the year, he would still go into the biggest tournament as the #1 in the world. He is that far ahead of everybody else, £1 million clear on the order of merit. He is the world #1, he is the world's best player, and that is not set to change for some time. He has had disappointments this year, MVG, but reports of his demise have been rather exaggerated. As for Dave Chisnall, this man, #8 in the world, so often frustrated in his attempts to claim a first major title, because being #8, which is kind of where he's been for a long old while now, he tends to run into the best player in the world in the quarter-final stages. Now, for many years, that was Phil the Power Taylor, and he got sick of playing the Tower because he kept losing. But then, this new lad took over the #1 spot, MVG, and the same thing happened. Former world #1 alongside me and Alan Warren a little.
140. Thank you, Dan. Yes, big test for Dave Chisnall, playing the best player in the world here in Brighton. He's certainly got the scoring power, as he got the 59 for a long distance match against MVG.
Well, he is, Dave Chisnall, the biggest 180 hitter in world darts. Now, when you've got that kind of firepower, that gives you opportunities. Most of the time, anyway.
81.
Crowd have steadily got more into it as the afternoon has gone on.
99. As Dave Chisnall managed to hold on to a top 8 place after the World Match Play in Blackpool. 57. To have his second attempt here at the Champions League. The last one didn't go too well, lost all 3 group games.
Well, if you're going to get your first win in this competition, getting it against the best player in the world isn't a bad way to do it.
Wouldn't be a bad start, would it?
And if you're going to play the opening leg against the best player in the world, why don't you break through? A bit like that. Double top for Dave Chisnall.
Second leg day to the Rovers. 13 darts a day from Chizzy. Good start. But we've got to maintain that for the long distance, the long haul.
Well, Dave Chisnall does have the ability to just catch fire and stay on fire for long periods. We've seen him on a number of occasions this year go out and average in excess of 110. And very recently, this month in fact, on the European Tour, he set a record for the highest average ever hit on the European Tour, beating Van Gerwen, beating Anderson, beating all the other guys. He wins.
Yeah, that's his golden game, isn't it? He just needs to have it maybe a little bit more often. 135. On the negative side, he hasn't had the best of seasons, but on the positive side of that, to stay in the top 8
96.
when you've not had the best of seasons, shows you that you're still hanging in there.
Well, he is the only man in the 8-man field not to have claimed a major televised title. But he has been in 5 major TV finals.
Yes, he's been close.
130.
Got over the line. This weekend be his big moment, as Mensah had last year.
121.
Maybe not one of the tournament favourites going into the event.
Here you show the second leg. Michael van
Gerwen levels up at 1 apiece.
These guys trading 13 darters. Now, if you're wondering about averages, a 15 darter is your 100 average. That is the first 180 of this one. But if you chuck in 13 darters leg after leg after leg, then you're looking at an average around about 114. That is unreal, Stanley. And this could be pretty unreal from Michael van Gerwen.
The crowd's not happy. Won't surprise me if he hit a 9-darter, he went and sat in the audience to claim his 25 quid.
Do you have to declare that 25 quid if you get it? I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
Well, Van Gerwen, this is the only big TV title in PDC darts that he has not won. And that will annoy him. And he's playing like a man with a point to prove. 11-darter, 2-1.
It just shows you the strength in depth that the PDC does have when you have a player who is the best player in the world #1, hasn't won this tournament, doesn't hold any of the old 3 majors, if you will, in the World Championship, World Grand Prix and World Championships.
Well, all right.
He's certainly won a few.
Well, look, yeah, he's won 17 titles this year as MVG. That's more than anybody else by a distance. He won the Premier League again. He won the Masters earlier on this year. He is still the reigning champion in the European Championship, the Grand Slam Players Championship finals. The World Cup, he won that for the Netherlands.
Well, for quite a few years, I think everybody knows that Gary Anderson has been his nearest challenger in terms of quality. But there's a lot more players getting up to that standard just behind. And if you just have that little slip, you can quite easily lose, as Van Gerwen has to somebody like Jeffrey Deswan twice in TV events. There's so many good players around now. You cannot take your foot off the gas.
The foot is firmly to the floor for the world #1 right now. That is 3 legs on the spin, 87 bullseye checkout, and he is averaging 115 right now. And if you don't think that he can sustain this, you're wrong. Because the world record was set by Michael van Gerwen for a televised average of 123.4, and it was very nearly 130 plus.
Yes, was it double 18 he missed, and then Michael Smith took the leg, then he took the next one. Yeah, that was, from a scoring perspective, just mental.
100.
Dave Chisnall fan in the house, plenty of them around.
136.
Back in the day, were there many Alan Warner little shirts out in the crowds, was there?
Only if I left them.
134. 138.
Well, for another 4-visit leg, that's not going to happen for MVG, but he is going to set this 62. Up relatively simply.
Yes, good start from Chisnall with that 13-dart leg, but since then, Michael van Gerwen is well and truly in top gear.
76.
Well, Chisnall has not been allowed a dart at double since that opening leg.
56.
He could get one here.
He would love to have a dart at double here. That would mean, is it 2 of those? There's the first. Oh, just deflected into the 15 in the treble 5 rather.
4-1 and MVG in cruise control. We have seen 3 tight games so far this afternoon. But Michael van Gerwen is not a man who shows a great deal of mercy for an opponent when he is on the floor. And right now, that is where he is looking to keep Dave Chisnall.
Yes, he's certainly ruthless in his pursuit of titles and beating his fellow professionals. And that is continuing here in Brighton.
95.
Are the crowd interested again? Well, it all depends where this first dart goes now. Not this time.
100.
It has been a long time since Dave Chisnall beat Michael van Gerwen in any form of darts. His last win was 2.5 years ago in a tour event, away from the TV cameras. If you're looking for the last time he beat him in a big TV tournament, you've got to go back 5 years. And that alone is testament to Michael van Gerwen's ability, because this man here, not only is the biggest 180 hitter in the world of darts, he's won 12 titles. He regularly picks up titles, Dave Chisnall. Treble 20 leaves the ball, does not get it. Chance for Chisnall, Shanghai finish.
Well, good setup from Van Gerwen. So, well, he's blocked the bed, as you can see there, went underneath.
88.
May have been better, easier to say that now. To move slightly to the left. 5-1 it is.
5-1, halfway to victory for MVG. The average is 111. The first nine darts he throws at the leg, he is typically scoring 364 points. He is leaving himself a finish after 3 visits to the ball.
100.
Well, if you're doing that on a regular basis, as you say, the average, it's really, really difficult for your opponent, because they're going to have to match that somewhere around that figure. And certainly if you're throwing second, have a 12 darter or less, or even a 9.
Well, Chizzy produces his first maximum, and once he gets his range, he can usually fire in a few more. But as you see there, that 109 average of Van Gerwen. We've seen Darryl Gurney beat Gary Anderson this afternoon with a superb display of finishing and taking out checkouts under real pressure. Chisnall is not even getting those chances right now against MVG, despite averaging more than 98 himself.
Yes, it was important for Darryl in that last match to stay in the match when he looked under the cosh. Obviously not 5-1 down, but it's a big chance for Chisnall to take a leg here. But you've got to hang in there and take your chances when they arrive. Will he get another?
Treble 18 leaves the double, but Chisnall will come back.
38.
And that's a silly dart from MVG. Thrown it out the board. Was looking at the double 18. And if he comes back, which he doesn't, it would have been trickier. But Chizzy does manage to get a second leg.
There's good composure there from Chizzy. He needs to just try and chip away. There's no drama yet, but when you're behind against a player averaging well into the hundreds, you know your chances are going to be very small.
Well, one of the most recent times these two met was on the European Tour. It was back in May, and it was stunning. It was the closest Chizzy's come to a victory against Michael van Gerwen in a long while. He averaged 108 almost, Dave Chisnall, and he still lost 6-4. Because MVG has this habit. He can go out and put in these kind of performances on a regular basis, but if somebody starts throwing really world-class stuff back at him, he can find another gear.
Yeah, certainly if you're a darts fanatic, fan, player, there's nothing better than seeing two players toe-to-toe playing very high quality. Good quality there from Chisnall.
25 and ball. Oh, you just saw the first dart wobble. It must have caught the flight. But Chizzy, his second 180, has given him a chance he needs to take, you feel. This makes it harder. Treble 17 does not get it. He should have at least had a dart at the bullseye in that visit.
Bad first start there from Chizzy. Could be trouble. Trouble it is. Got himself slightly back into the match. Was throwing first in that leg. Could have made a bit of a difference to how he was feeling. A bit more positive, a bit more energy maybe.
77.
That's been soon distinguished by MVG.
Well, this is the point, quite possibly, where Dave Chisnall starts getting that sinking feeling. He has seen this story before. A bloke in bright green stood in front of him on the hockey, firing in massive averages and just taking the game away from him. It has happened every single time that they have met in the last 20, bar one where he got a draw. And that was here in Bright Green, in the Premier League. Had Chizzy just got over the line in that one, he would have finished top of the league stages in the Premier League. Something only Michael Van Gerwen and Phil Taylor have done. That is how good a player Dave Chisnall is.
Yes, he's certainly got the quality, just that real consistency. I mean, there's a big end to the year. There's a lot of TV tournaments coming up, and let's be honest, you only need to have one real good run in one to get some confidence. And that's sometimes all it can take.
Not
left to finish either.
On the 9th leg, Michael Van Gerwen.
It is a flurry of legs from Michael Van Gerwen, sealed in 11, 12, 13, 14 darts. It is an all-out assault, this, on Dave Chisnall.
Yes, he's certainly not taking his foot off the pedal. He wants to
140.
continue. The latter part of this match, as he has done all the way through so far. In the 10th leg, averaging almost 109. 88% on the checkouts, that's incredible.
Well, that's only his second 180. I suppose that's something for Chizzy to cling on to here.
86.
But it ain't much, because he's not left to finish, and Van Gerwen looks like he's in the mood to see this off in 2 visits.
79.
Yeah, playing so well. When you see Michael Van Gerwen in this form, you almost feel it would be easier to put a string vest on a jellyfish.
125, Michael 102.
Well, this will sting. Double 16. Oh, it's too good. It is too good for the world #1. 8-2.